So for those that are really keen to get into the slalom course and really taking their slalom to the next level, we're going to look at our tournament ropes and handles. Now, they're very specific to each event: slalom, trick, and jump. Now, you get very personalized in your slalom handles. You can get different widths as well as the actual diameter of the handle. Now, the widths range from 12 to 13 inches, and the diameters go from 0.94 of an inch all the way up to 1.183 inches. So that's going to range just on your personal preference. If you've got bigger, smaller hands, if you really like gripping that handle, if you hold it a little bit more in your fingers, it's just going to vary on your personal preference. Now, with your slalom ski handles, you might see a few with a protective coating on there. What's the benefit of that? And also some that are a bit bent. Why is that? Well, the bent handles will actually reduce your forearm pump a little bit. So if you're really struggling and you're really doing a lot of sets and you're getting a lot of forearm pump and a lot of forearm fatigue, you can potentially look at a radius handle or a bent handle. That's going to allow for you to ski more sets and ski more comfortably. Now, the protective coating on this is just going to let your rope last a bit longer. However, some people don't like it. They feel that it's a little bit too heavy for the handle, so they prefer to go without the protective poly coating on the outside of the handle. Honestly, it's personal preference when you get to this stage. Whatever you think is going to make you ski the best and feel most comfortable on your ski and in the course, go with that. Now, the other handles that we have in our tournament handles are our jump and trick handle. So your jump handle, once again, you can play around with the diameter and the width. 12 and 11 inches and 10 inches is the widths of them. So then you also have a bit of a stronger and less stretchy rope there. So when you're jumping, you're really going to be relying on that line tension and no give between you and the boat to hit that ramp at the best speed you can to get the best pop and ultimately the best length. So then we have our trick handle. Now, our trick handle, once again, ranges in your width and diameter. You also have your toe hold right there. So it has a bear trap, or you can get it without the bear trap. This is really important for your toe pass. When you've got your toe in the handle, you've got your foot in the handle, so that you're doing spins and tricks in your toe pass. This is a really important thing for tricking. Now, you've also got the braid here, which is really, really good for those when they're doing those tricks to wrap up, hold the braid so they can get those big spins and big amount of line tension to get that pop off the wake. Alrighty, so we're going to move on to our tournament ropes. Now, our tournament ropes are very specific to each event that they are for. So we have jump, trick, and slalom. So our slalom ropes are a bit different to our social ski ropes. They still have those section lengths. However, they have a few more and start a little bit shorter. So instead of being 70 foot, these start at 60 foot or 18.25 meters, which is the starting length to get into a slalom course. Now, you have different ones that are a bit better. So some that go down to 10.75 meters. Then we also have ones that go all the way down to 9.25 meters, which is what the top skiers in the world are trying to attempt. They also have a few different options when it comes to adjusting the lengths of these ropes. You have knotless ones, which are very similar to your standard ski rope. They have that loop in the middle that you loop over your center ski pylon. However, there's a lot of tension when you're in the slalom course. There's a lot of load on that center ski pylon and ultimately that rope. So sometimes our top line ropes are slide loops. Instead of being the knots or the knotless where you have that actual loop, these splice into themselves and you can unloop them, and they're very easy to slide on and off the center ski pylon. So if you're going through different lengths quickly, or they're putting a lot of load on the line, that is probably the rope to go for. Now we move on to our trick rope. Now, our trick ropes are a bit different to our Waterski slalom ropes. Now, they are a very different construction. They're a lot stiffer with a lot less stretch in them. So you can either have your poly E ropes, which have a little bit of bungee in them, or your top line trick rope is a Spectra core or a Spectra rope. So this is going to have no stretch in it whatsoever. The benefit of that is that it's going to give you more consistent edge hold into the wake for your trick. It's going to give you more consistent pop off the wake as well. So line tension is very important when it comes to tricking, doing those spins and flips, and trying to do them as quickly as possible, as you have to do in competition. And finally, we have our jump ropes. Now, our jump ropes are a little bit different to the other two. They're a combination, in our top line ropes, they're a combination of Spectra and Poly P. So that's going to give you that really nice line tension with a little bit of forgiveness, because those guys jumping are really jamming hard on those skis to get the most amount of speed and angle into the ramp to ultimately jump as far as they can.